I call the member for Penrith.
Speaker, I rise to contribute to debate and oppose this motion, a motion that I must call out as factually inaccurate and misleading. I have myself in this very place heard the Premier, Deputy Premier and other members speak up for the people of New South Wales on this issue. Where were you lot when that was happening? I know I've spoken previously, both in this place and at my council, advocating for my residents. I've advocated to Minister Graham on the M12-M7 link and also on Mulgoa Road. I wrote to Federal Minister, issued media releases and articles. A short desktop search would have demonstrated that the whole premise of this motion is fiction. But when you lot never did let the facts get in the way of your propaganda. Again, I speak from experience. This Labor government is constantly mopping up another mess you left for us, and that's a direct quote from the member for Camden. Our government is working hard for the people of New South Wales. We did it from opposition and now are in government and delivering for our constituents as they elected us to do. I admit it is a hard slog after 12 years of a coalition government who were more focused on factional battles and ignoring the needs of workers while selling every state asset off and to cause the people of New South Wales more financial pain. That pain is felt deeply by the residents of my Western Sydney seat of Penrith. Do you lot even know where Western Sydney is? Ashfield is not Western Sydney. When you mention pain, I don't need to look any further than the toll roads you saddled us with. Talk about disingenuous. The previous government was obsessed with building major toll roads, which they promised us they would not privatise and then quickly backflipped on after the elections. And I say elections because you did it more than once. To add insult to injury, those toll roads that are mostly used by Western Sydney residents are locked up until 2060. In particular, I call out the case of M4 and M5, placing a toll burden on Sydney of $123 billion in today's dollars, most of it paid by Western Sydney commuters. They privatised WestConnect's alone accounts for over half that burden at $64 billion in today's dollars. How dare you come in here with your fictitious concern about the pain for Western Sydney commuters? The motion calls on our government to find a way to fund key projects. I tell you, let's instead talk about the cost blowouts and repair bills for trains that did not fit tracks or fit through tunnels. Let's talk about the cost of ferries that did not fit under bridges. They did not operate at night and indeed didn't even go backwards.
Have you hit tolls yet?
Deafening silence on the gems of that mismanagement. Speaker, since coming to government, it's very clear that Labor members in the next phase of it's very clear to Labor members that the next phase of planning for Western Sydney's growth was never done by the Coalition. No proper planning for funding roads to support car, truck, freight movements in the new airport precinct was done, even though the airport is due to open in just over 2 years. That planning was imperative for cities like Penrith, geographically closest to the airport. However, to spotlight just how absurd this motion is, let's talk about the projects that Labor are supporting through the budget. Flood resilience projects in Western Sydney, the M7 to Townsend Road, Pitt Town Bypass, Garfield Road East upgrade in Riverstone. Let's talk about all of those. Each and every member on this Labor government is committed to advocating for and delivering for the people of New South Wales. They elected us to do it and we're delivering. I urge members to oppose this motion.